Have you ever wondered why God chose to save only Noah and his family during the Great Flood? It's a profound question that gets to the very heart of God's nature, His justice, His holiness, and His incredible mercy. To understand this, we need to go back and look at the world as it was in Noah's time. The book of Genesis paints a grim picture. In chapter 6 verse 5 it says, "And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." Think about that for a moment. It wasn't just that people did bad things occasionally. Their very thoughts, their deepest intentions were consistently evil. The world had become completely corrupt, a place where sin was the norm, not the exception. As Romans 3:10 tells us, there is none righteous, no, not one. This was the state of humanity. Everyone had turned away from God. Now, God is holy. His very nature is pure and perfect. As Psalm 5 says, He is not a God who takes pleasure in wickedness. Sin creates a separation between us and God. Because of His holiness and justice, He couldn't let this widespread corruption continue indefinitely. Judgment was necessary to uphold His righteousness. But in the midst of this darkness, there was a glimmer of light. Genesis 6 verse 8 says, "But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord." This is a crucial turning point. What was so special about Noah? The next verse tells us, Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. In a world filled with evil, Noah stood out. He was righteous. He was blameless among the people of his time. Most importantly, he walked with God. This means he had a real, active, and obedient relationship with his Creator. He wasn't perfect in the sense that he never sinned, but his heart was devoted to God. He listened to God, trusted Him, and followed His ways. It's like what the prophet Micah later said, that God requires us to walk humbly with thy God. Noah lived this out every day. So, God's choice to save Noah wasn't a case of random favoritism. It was a choice based on righteousness. God saw Noah's faith and his obedient heart. As a result, this salvation extended to his family. They were preserved because Noah led them in faith and obedience. The book of Hebrews tells us, by faith Noah prepared an ark to the saving of his house. His faith wasn't just a belief, it was an action that saved his entire family. This brings us to the ark itself. God didn't just tell Noah a flood was coming. He gave him a very specific, detailed command. In Genesis 6, God said, "Make thee an ark of gopher wood, runes shalt thou make in the ark." Imagine the scene. Noah is told to build a massive boat in the middle of dry land, preparing for a flood the world had never seen. People must have thought he was crazy, but Noah's faith was unshakable. He trusted God's word completely and began the enormous task of building the ark, exactly as God commanded. His obedience was a powerful demonstration of his faith. As the book of James says, "Faith, if it hath not works, is dead." Noah's work on the ark was the living proof of his trust in God. He and his family labored for years, preparing for a judgment they believed was coming, even when there was no sign of rain. Then, the moment came. In Genesis 7, God said to Noah, "Come thou, and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation." God's invitation was for Noah and his entire household. They heard God's call, they believed His warning, and they acted by entering the ark. The ark became their sanctuary, a symbol of God's protection and their separation from the sinful world around them. It was their obedience that brought them into this place of safety. So, why was it only Noah's family? The Bible makes it clear they were the only ones who responded to God's call. 2 Peter chapter 2 calls Noah a preacher of righteousness. For all those years he was building the ark, he was also a living testimony to his generation, warning them of the coming judgment and showing them the way to salvation. But no one else listened. No one else believed. No one else chose to turn from their wickedness and follow God. The flood that followed was a universal judgment. It demonstrated that sin has serious consequences and that God's judgment is comprehensive. But it also showed that God is merciful. He didn't wipe out humanity completely. He saved a righteous remnant, Noah and his family to preserve life and re-establish humanity on the earth. This event is so significant that Jesus Himself referred to it. In Matthew 24, He said, "As the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Just as people were caught unaware by the flood, many will be unprepared for his return. This story is packed with spiritual lessons for us today. First, Noah's faith was the key to his family's preservation. Hebrews 11 says that through his faith, Noah became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. His faith wasn't just a feeling, it involved trusting God's word, acting on his instructions, and depending on him completely for survival. Second, we see the importance of the family as a unit of salvation. Noah's faithfulness created a spiritual legacy. His leadership brought his entire household under God's covenant of protection. It is a powerful reminder of the verse in Joshua, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Our faith can have a generational impact, protecting and guiding our loved ones. The story also beautifully illustrates the balance between God's judgment and mercy. Judgment is real and inevitable for unrepentant sin, but God's mercy is always available to those who turn to him in faith and obedience. God established his covenant with Noah, promising safety in the ark. He extends that same promise of salvation to us today. Ultimately, the ark is a powerful symbol or a type of Jesus Christ. Just as Noah and his family had to enter the ark to be saved from the floodwaters of judgment, we must enter into a relationship with Jesus Christ to be saved from the final judgment on sin. The ark was the one and only way to be saved, and Jesus is the one and only way to the Father. 1 Peter chapter 3 draws this parallel directly, saying that just as 8 people were saved through water in the ark baptism, now saves us as a pledge of a clear conscience toward God. Through the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the story of Noah isn't just an ancient tale. It's a timeless lesson in faith, obedience, and God's incredible plan of salvation. It teaches us that walking with God is possible even in a corrupt world, that our faith must be accompanied by action, and that God always provides a way of escape for those who trust in him. May we all learn from Noah's example to live righteously, walk humbly with our God, and lead our families in faith. Thanks for watching. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content.